So you all know who I am. I'm Dr. Maya Alapin. I'm not a medical doctor or a mental health care practitioner. Welcome to the live demo. Ooh, I'm so excited you're all here. My lucky number 7 too. I love that. So Cindy is going to be our volunteer for tonight. There's no course tonight. It's really just a live demonstration. So I'm going to answer your questions when we're done. Cindy, at the end, I would, encourage you to take a rest instead of stick around for the Q&A, but I'll leave that up to you since you're, educated in the method. You can do whatever is comfortable for you. So I'm going to highlight. Does anyone have any questions for me before we start? I'm going to highlight just the two of us and everybody else can turn off their screen. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat as we go so you don't forget them. And then I'll answer them once I have a chance to look over there, but I won't do it in the moment. Okay, so take it away. What's the problem?
I've been thinking about that. The
Take your time.
problem, the problem historically has been, like not following through,
Okay.
not, not following through with things that I say I want to do. And, on our call last week, kind of joked, it goes back to, summer camp when I was a kid,
Right.
really excited. And then like, kind of once I get to the gate, it's like, oh no, 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 no. We're actually not gonna do that, you know? But it's not like of course it's not conscious in the moment,
Of course. Yeah.
it's just the I feel like I'm holding myself back in
Hey, I just
many,
want to
many
interrupt.
areas.
I just want to interrupt you for 1 second because there's a delay in your voice and the screen. I don't know, is there something that you can do about that just to make it not weird for you or me?
I can probably back out and then come back in.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that's what it is? Is it the yeah.
I don't
Let's give it a try just to see if it works. I mean, I could still hear you anyway, but let's try it to make it
Okay.
easier. Go
I
ahead.
don't have a delay on my end, so I don't know.
Can anyone in the gallery there let me know if you see it too?
I see it, but what if you just took off her video?
Well, I'd like to be able to see her.
Oh,
Okay,
so
so
there's a definite difference. Yeah.
there's a difference.
Yeah.
You were mentioning you were having a tech thing before, so do you want to just give that a try?
Sure.
Come right back. It's okay. No worries. We got time. And to everyone else who is listening, Sydney just referenced the when we talked last week. So if you're not aware, we had another class, which was the discovery call. So before I do a session, I always do that discovery call. It's an essential part of getting this done right. So there she told us what the problem was. I informed her about, what we were going to do today. We had some education. So that's a separate class that's useful to watch if you want to reference what happened before this. Hi, welcome back.
Okay. How's
Okay,
that?
let's see. Better. Yes, I think that works.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. Perfect.
Awesome.
Well, okay, let's start again. So same, you know the question, right?
um, so
Problem.
yeah,
You're talking about summer camp, not
well,
following through.
yeah. So the problem is not like knowing what I want to do, knowing what I really, really want to do, and then holding myself back from that
Okay.
in many, many areas over my life. Yeah, not going to summer camp, not going like wanted to go into the Air Force, not doing that. Whatever, not going big in training horses, which I could have. Not taking the rally instructor job that I really, really wanted. Like things that I want and not going going after it.
I have some questions about all of those things that you just listed, but I just think it is interesting that the summer camp thing has come up more than once already. So what's the story there? What do you make of that? Why summer camp? How old were you? What was going on?
So this summer camp, it was part of our it's actually still part of our church, which I don't go to
Oh,
church anymore, but It's, my older brother started going when he was, I don't know, he went in through his teens and I'm 5 years younger than him. So my time to start going to camp would have been like 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do that." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't. Nope, not really." No.
Mhm.
And then my little brother started going to this same camp and went all the way through, met his wife there, had his
Oh,
wedding
wow.
there, like all the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Now my boys go there and
Mhm.
everybody loves it. And for me, I was like, yeah, nope, not gonna do that. Not gonna
Mhm.
go. No.
And just out of curiosity, it's funny, I didn't go to summer camp either. I had my parents sign me up and then I was like, forget it, I'm not doing it. And I never did. So I can really relate to this story. But so, and the reason I'm asking is because I can kind of remember what I was thinking back then, which was whatever, almost 40 some year, 30 some years ago. So do you know what you were thinking? Like what was going on? Why did you hesitate? Take your time.
So there's this feeling of I can't do it.
Okay.
Like I can't make it a week. Um,
Yeah.
like it's the underlying feeling is I can't do it. Like I really don't have what it takes to
Okay.
go to summer camp for a week.
Yeah.
Um, like
You're laughing about it now because you did have
yeah,
what it takes, right?
I mean, just the
Is it funny because it's like I didn't have what it takes to go swimming in the lake for a few.
well, I mean,
It's so fun.
it's like I don't know. I mean, consciously, like obviously I'm physically capable of running around and playing for a week.
Yeah.
Um I honestly don't know if it's more of like an interpersonal thing. Like I don't feel like I'm going to like people won't like me.
Okay.
That
Fair.
could be part of it.
Yeah.
Um like what if I don't make friends and it really
Okay.
is as miserable as I think it's going to be.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I don't like being stuck.
Yeah. Okay. So
Um
making the commitment was scary because maybe it doesn't turn out that great and then I'm stuck here.
yeah, for a week, yeah. Um
And what's
yeah,
scary about being stuck?
well I can't get out of it.
Okay.
Like yeah, like if I'm stuck, I can't get out of it.
Does that have any crossover or whatever that right word is into the other decisions? Like, I want to go into the Air Force, but actually, I'm not sure. Is it because I'm going to get stuck there? Is it a different reason?
So like the Air Force thing specifically, I felt like I didn't have what it took to
Okay.
make it through basic training. That was my biggest
Okay.
holy shit, yeah, I definitely can't make it through that.
Okay.
Um,
Which
yeah,
was
like I don't have what it takes.
which was kind of part of the summer thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's the same with even though I was, uh, young, I was in my teens training horses, broke my nose training a horse, could have gone big. And then I mean, I knew I had what it took because I was doing it every day. And
Okay.
then it was like, no, 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 no. Okay, we got to back up from here because you really don't have what it takes,
Okay.
you know? So now, I mean, it's that pattern, it's that kind of stop, go, stop, back up, start, go, start again, stop, go, get a different idea, and then the same fucking thing plays out. Sorry for my language.
Oh,
Um,
I love to swear, so please go ahead. I'm a
um,
believer it's a sign of intelligence, so please.
well, the F word is the most versatile word in the English language. So
I
there we go.
love the F word. My dad was an immigrant, so he literally replaced every word he didn't know with it. So I have great memories of it, and it doesn't offend me whatsoever. And
Fantastic.
so, what um, what does that have to do with right now? So you're telling me I have a stop-go pattern. I'm not
Yes.
sure if I'm good enough, and so just bring me up to date. Like, what's the issue?
Well, business, and it's been the issue for like 20 years.
Hmm.
Um,
Which is the same stop-go pattern.
yeah.
And
Yep.
what are you stopping and going? What is the topic of the stop-go?
Currently, it is like it has shown up in the direction that, and that's actually not even currently, that's been 20 years of
Okay.
the direction that I want to go and what I really want to focus on. So I was pretty much, I went to college out of high school knowing that I didn't want to go to college. I knew I wanted to go to massage therapy school.
Okay.
And my mother said in 1996, "What, you're going to touch people for money?" And I
Ooh,
was like, "Oh, well, okay. I guess I don't want to be a prostitute, so I might as well go to college."
wow.
Yeah. Um,
Radical.
so and then I was like, I was the only one in my class not planning on going to school. My guidance counselor told me, "Don't waste the $25 application fee."
Wow.
Yeah. So hey, a couple weeks before graduation, she says this to me, and I did not follow like my own truth. I knew I wanted to be a massage therapist. I
Okay.
knew it. And I didn't follow that. So, my dad saying, "Just get your ticket, get your degree, and then you can do whatever you want." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'll put off what I want for what, 4 years.
Right.
So I changed majors, I don't know, two or three times, changed schools twice. So I went to three different colleges. And the day that I graduated,
Mhm.
I enrolled in massage therapy school.
Okay, well, that was my next question is,
Yeah.
did you actually do it? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, but so you did follow your heart in the end.
I did. I
Okay.
did.
And what do you,
And
yeah, what made,
um I loved it, loved every minute of it. It was like it felt exactly right. Exactly right.
perfect.
And I did dive into that 1,000%.
Okay.
Um,
Just checking. So there are some things that you don't do stop go.
right. No, I really loved massage therapy. I mean, it was a great, it just like fit with me and who, like everything.
Right.
Um,
So when things do fit, then you are all go. You're
yeah,
ready to just go. Is that
yeah.
true?
Well, so that it was true then, for that particular school experience. And then got out of school, started my office, and I think that's where the stop go started because the business piece. Like I know I'm a hell of a massage therapist. I'm a
Okay.
strong human.
Yeah.
Um, I can also like see how the body works, see how muscles are working.
Okay.
Um,
So you're an intuitive.
yes. But it's for that, it was like the business piece. And
Mhm.
then got in my head like,
What's the problem with the business piece?
I don't know.
Yeah. So you
I
like
I
giving massages, you like helping
yeah.
people, you like the action of it. Is that still your business currently?
No. No, 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 no. So, I also happen to like riding dirt bikes, and I
Okay.
broke I broke my wrist on my dirt bike, so that kind of immediately takes you out of
Yeah. I
body
would.
work.
Right.
So
Okay.
then I went to graduate school
Okay.
for clinical mental health counseling. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and I love learning. So I think that might be part of why I love being in school. I love like the
I
collaboration. I love, like the
totally agree.
synapses firing,
Yeah.
like all of it. I love learning, but
Same.
it's also new all the time.
Hmm. Do you think business isn't new all the time? 'Cause I feel like I'm always doing something that I've never done before.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe that's why,
You're
because I've
bored.
never mastered it. Maybe that's why it feels not
Hmm.
like I'm not good enough at it.
Okay, just let me ask you a logical question then. So, isn't it true that there is no mastering it because you're inventing it as you go? I mean, that's what entrepreneurship is all about. You know that funny joke about it's like jumping out of a plane and building the parachute on the way down?
Right.
Right. So you actually don't know. That's why it's all new. So where'd you get the idea that there was going to be mastering it?
Well, I think probably there's a lot of comparison. I do a lot of comparing, like back to summer camp. I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not going to be able to keep up with those other girls,
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
They're also not going to like me.
Okay.
I'm not going to be good enough to keep up in basic training for the Air
Right.
Force.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be good enough to keep up with, you know, everybody else doing business successfully. And
I'm starting to get it. So it's kind of like, since I can't keep up, I might as well not even go for it. I might as well just be still.
if
So
I don't try,
I don't have to be in the fray.
yeah, so if I don't try it at all, like if I just back away from it,
Yeah.
then I don't uh have to experience, like, I don't have to prove myself right that I really wasn't good enough,
Yeah, exactly.
you
Well,
know?
yeah, right. Well, how's that working
Um,
out for you?
Not very fucking well.
I mean, isn't it true that you end up proving that I'm not even courageous enough to go for it? So I actually disprove
All,
another thing, which is even not fun either.
yes, all the time, and and then I feel even worse
Right.
about, like, myself, my capabilities, my self-belief, the trust that I
Exactly.
don't have for
That's
myself
right.
anymore.
And how many years have you been feeling that way of like, well, but the problem is that I don't even trust myself to try.
The trust thing I just recently became aware of.
Mhm.
I've been on to myself for a while, like, you say you're gonna do shit and then really,
Mhm. Well,
like,
how does that make you feel, the fact that you're onto yourself? By the way, this is how quitting addiction goes too, right? You've dealt with lots of clients who have the same thing,
yes,
which is
yes.
like they have a constant critique of the fact that they're still in the process, but they're in the process, which means they're going to quit eventually. So it's better to be in it than not.
But
So
yeah, it's always a
good analog.
process. It's always a process, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but some part of you is resisting being part of a process. So what do you understand by that? Because it is always a process. I mean, you're a mother of kids, like, they're all in process.
Yeah. Um, what do I understand about
Yeah,
that?
take your time. What do you
Mhm.
understand about that? The fact that you resist even participating in process, but then you
Well,
don't like yourself because you didn't participate.
yeah, yeah, that's it. But also, it is like, I don't know, there's this illusion of like safety, you know?
Yeah, right.
Um,
But it's an illusion, right?
yes.
So
And then like
yeah,
the FOMO comes in because I'm like,
right,
I didn't even have the
exactly.
friggin' balls to try. And
Exactly.
look at all those you know what? They had such a good time at summer camp. And now, I
That's
mean, me looking back, like 30 years later going,
right.
"You sissy," like,
Oh,
you
right.
know, and
And so
telling my boys, like, I'm so impressed with you. You are so brave. Like, I didn't even have the guts to go and look at you. Like,
okay, but let me ask you something. Do you have a sense of compassion for that little girl who didn't have all the resources and tools that you have gathered in your adult life as you've been going through all this education? Do you have compassion for her? Because she had a legitimate concern. When you're a little kid, you don't know. I mean, I could have just gone to camp and called my parents like on day 3 and they would have come got me. I wouldn't have been stuck at all. But as a kid, you really don't think. You just think like, oh shit, this could end.
yeah,
So do you have compassion for how she thought about it?
my dad would have come to get
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
My mother, on the other hand,
Mm,
um,
she would have not.
she would have come get me, but I would have paid for it.
Right. Okay, so the real problem here was the mom. The mom is the one who made you feel, your mom made you feel uncomfortable about taking the risk.
Yeah, about everything.
Right.
About everything. Maya,
Well,
I didn't tell her when I got my period.
oh wow. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
What's up with that?
Uh,
As the
uh,
mother to a teen, preteen, I
teen
can't even
girls, yeah.
imagine her not telling me. So what's
She,
going on?
we've never ever had a close relationship
Right.
ever.
Okay.
And anything vulnerable like that
Yeah.
is, there was like a shame around it,
Fair.
and um, I don't know,
That's fair.
didn't know like it would, yeah, like I don't know if shame. I just didn't like. I didn't anything I could do, and we owned a pharmacy, so I was able, and I worked there, so I was able to like take care of myself, take care of myself.
Right.
Um,
Right. So you did.
so I did, yeah,
And you have been this whole time.
yes.
But are you really taking care of yourself? Or is it just like I'm surviving?
Well, it's been the surviving,
Mhm.
but you know, I want more than that now. I'm
Yeah,
tired of
exactly.
just
That's what I'm asking. So
sitting.
so that you're good at the survival part and you've
Yeah,
triumphed with that. And
yeah,
now
yeah.
you want more. I
Yes.
think what you've said to me so far is the reason I can't have more is because I've not felt safe taking risks because that's how my mom raised me. Because she wasn't that available to comfort me or to support me. Is that accurate? What do you feel when you think about that?
When I think about that, or when I think about her.
Either one, whatever you want to tell me.
Um, when I think about her, the best word I can come up with is resentment.
Right. Fair.
Um, I don't I don't want her in my life, but I am it's like some cosmic joke because I have 2 brothers and they are both too far away to help take care of her
Right. So
now.
you have to do it. I
Yeah,
understand.
like, where did that karma come from?
Mhm.
For me, of all people,
Yes, exactly. So
because
what do you make of that? You're right. Of course it comes from you. By the way, I can relate to this story as well.
yeah, it
Yeah,
feels, like there's some kind of fucking lesson in there I'm supposed to learn,
yeah,
but I
sure.
really don't want to. I really just don't want to. I
Right.
don't
I
want to
want
be
to.
obligated to her.
Right.
I don't, and that makes me feel guilty.
Okay, but so let me ask you something. Let's pretend. Oh, so go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, 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 no. The guilty part was the sigh. Like,
Yeah. So the guilt makes you feel like not dealing with it.
uh, the guilt, the guilt is what motivates me to deal with it.
So the
Like,
guilt
I
motivates.
feel guilty for not wanting pretty much anything to do with her.
Exactly. Right.
Um,
And so on a personal and business level, what is it costing you to live with this mishmash of combination? I'm responsible. I feel guilty. Also, I have to do it. What is that costing you?
somehow it is somehow, I don't know how it's intertwined or related or which part comes, I don't know if it's a chicken egg thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
But somehow it is keeping me from going as big as
Yeah,
I know that I can. I
exactly.
like,
That's right. Exactly. You know you can. How do you know that? Because you've got the experience, because you've got
yeah,
clinical experience, because you got the education, you're already online. So you have all the skills. You know you
but
can.
yeah, I also have like the idea. I love ideas.
Yes.
Um,
Too.
I have it like mapped out, you
Okay.
know?
So you have all the ingredients already ready. All you need to do is pull the trigger.
Well, and then not like try to pull the trigger back.
Right. Exactly. Pull the trigger and just let whatever happens happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's it going to take in terms of your character or qualities you need to develop for you to pull the trigger and see what happens? What's it going to take? Take your time. But
my character.
yes.
I'm stuck on that.
Yes.
Because
Love it.
behaviorally, I make all of the changes. I get back to doing what I know works.
Yeah.
I'm back to meditating, which is so good for me. I'm back to like my schedule.
Good.
Um,
Right. You know how to do the behaviors because
behavior,
you're
yeah,
trained,
like,
you're educated at this whole game.
yeah, behaviorally, I can do all the things,
Right.
but it's like,
It's a higher level problem.
yeah,
Well, I don't know if you know the hierarchy of neurology, right? But if you, I have a class on that too. But if you look at it, behavior is at the bottom. So behavior is just over environment. So those are low level changes, which is why, in
yeah,
my opinion, like cognitive therapy is kind of wrong
yeah,
because it's going from the bottom of the hierarchy. So
right,
above that is our values, and above that is our
yeah,
identity. So
yeah.
you're talking about identity level change. You're right. So what's the identity level change? What's missing? Because you're right. You are right. The behavioral change is secondary.
And I like over and over use that as like the sorry if you can hear my dog.
Okay.
Um
Oh my God.
like the kind of gumption, like, okay, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it back. We're back at it. It's like the back at
So
it.
you're just repeating something that didn't work before. I'm back at something that didn't
Right.
work before. Okay, so what are you going to get out of that?
Um
I mean, how's that supposed to work if you already proved that it didn't work? How's it going to work the second or third or 100th time? I know. It's like, good question.
well, no, I'm like the second or third. You're so funny.
But second or third or
or
100th.
or like 100th, yeah.
Do you know deep
Um
down, I've always wanted to be funny. So this job has been so wonderful for me because people have started for the first time in my life after like, decades to be like, you're pretty funny.
yeah.
Very, very validating for me. So thank you.
um
And
what
I mean,
do I need to
and I'm also not trying to take away from it. Like, yes, the behaviors are needed. We have to do those to be good at our therapy jobs because you have to cultivate yourself, obviously. So it's not bad, but it's also not the answer. It's not going to get you
right,
to do something you've never done before. So you need to keep those, right? But also those are not going to be
like
the
yeah.
impetus for change. They're not going to create momentum out of thin air. Right? Is that right?
um that's funny that you say momentum because it feels like that is where I have been trying to source
Yes.
the momentum.
I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I get that. Is it working?
No. Well, for a hot minute, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It does give you life energy to take care of yourself. That is
yeah,
true. But
yeah.
does the entrepreneurship require a whole different thing that you haven't considered yet?
Clearly, because I have 20
Clearly.
20 friggin' years. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, good thing we're here today. Okay.
right?
Right. Clearly that's not it.
Yeah.
What are people doing who are doing the entrepreneurship gig in addition to the behavioral good stuff that you're not doing? I mean, it's kind of hilarious because obviously you're here because that's what you want to know.
Yeah. Um,
I mean, like, what am I doing that you're not doing?
so consistency. I can own that I am not consistent
Okay.
with, my whatever posting, social media, the
Fair.
outreach. I get resentful of the
Yeah.
social media stuff. And
Okay.
then I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck
Fuck it.
that.
Fuck
I'm
it.
yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Um,
So consistency is one problem.
consistency is a problem.
What else are you not doing though?
See, my mind just goes back to behaviorally, like,
Right.
um, So then it starts to kind of spin out. I'm like, what am I doing that other people are not doing? Okay. Is it outreach? Is it, you know, standing on the street corner naked? Is it like, you know,
Right, because the last time I did that, it was pretty wild.
you know, like, and then I get like spun up in my head. It's almost that almost feels like I use that as an excuse to pull back, because then it's like, well, I just don't know. And then I
Yeah,
get like all, you know what I
right.
mean? In my mind.
Okay, so let me ask you an it's an easy, hard question. It comes from like the pre-Socratic era. So how are you supposed to do something that you don't know what it is? Like that was the Socratic question. That's what I studied for my PhD was Plato. And he was like, well, how are you supposed to find virtue if you don't know what virtue is? What's the process? It's like a mystery. How are we supposed to help people transform if we don't know who they're becoming? I mean, it's a metaphysical question. I don't mean it for it to be, weird. It is complex because it's like, so what you're saying is there's something out there that you don't know what it is that you need to find, but you don't know how to find it. So how are you supposed to fucking do that?
That is not within me.
Right. How are you
Because so then that just validates that I don't have what it takes.
right. But so
Yes.
what about all the people who, you know,
They've
also
got it.
didn't know, I mean, I certainly didn't know how to run a hypnosis business a decade ago or 5 years ago.
Well,
But
so in my somewhere in my mind, you have something that I don't have. You figured it out.
yeah.
You've got it, you know?
Okay, fair, fair. Okay, well, it's lucky it's me because I know what that thing is. So it's a good thing we're having this conversation. So, what if I were to suggest that the only thing I have that you don't have is the crazy, like, faith that if I go for it, something will happen that will educate me? Like, what if it's not that it's the thing I knew how to do, but it was the risk taking that then gives you a series of actually problems is what happens that you then solve that then teach you something. Did that make sense? Was a long
It did, and then my mind goes back to, well, what if I can't solve them?
right. So what if that's a great question? I ask myself that every day.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
what if you can't? What if you
So
can't?
then it goes back to, again, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then
Exactly.
again, I
It's
don't
not
have
almost
those things.
self-fulfilling, it is self-fulfilling.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. What if you can solve them? Then what will happen? What if it so happens that just like everything else in life, you come up with something and try it and then refine it? Isn't that how everything is? Isn't parenting like that? Isn't cooking like that? Isn't fucking picking the right color for the bedspread like that? You just do something and then like 6 months later you're like, no, not that. Something
Yeah.
else. Okay, so what if it's a series of, oh, maybe I picked wrong and now I change it?
I feel like I've been living in that series for a very long time, and it
Okay.
makes me look like a hot mess,
Oh, I see.
you
Okay.
know? Um,
I thought what you said prior to that though was I haven't even ventured into that actualizing my idea. Because you started by saying, and I have an idea and I have a concept, but I don't even do it because I'm already thinking I don't have it in me. So I thought the problem was like at that level.
well, no, I start. I'm a really good starter.
Okay.
I'm a really good starter
Okay.
and not a really good finisher.
Okay. Fair.
Um,
What does that mean? I'm a good starter, but not
so
a
like and I don't know if it's because it is like if I go too far down the rabbit hole with one idea and it doesn't and I don't make it happen, then I can't get out of it, it's like that loop, and then I'm like, "Oh, I gotta change that a little bit, like, I've gotta tweak my niche, just it doesn't feel right."
Mhm.
You
What's
know
wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
well, because I'm in that loop constantly.
Okay. Isn't that what entrepreneurship is?
Well, oh, Jesus, I hope not. I hope not, because I wanna stick I want what I want right now is to take this like plan, focus,
Hmm.
passion, and go all in.
We'll kill it with it, right?
I want to be like, I want this to be my end
It.
all be all for the, like, this is it. I've been waiting, not waiting. Well, yeah, waiting, I
When
guess.
has that ever happened in life that we're like, okay, this is it, and then we just make this be it? Has that ever happened to you in anything?
Um,
Do we ever just get a fully formed idea and then just actualize it like right away?
yeah, my boys.
Oh, tell me about that.
Like I totally manifested them. I knew I wanted 2 boys.
Yep.
I knew I like back to back. Um, yeah, they were.
Okay, but raising them, has it been a straight line? Do you just know everything every step of the way, or do you make mistakes and go
No,
back?
no, 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 but there's always an underlying, like,
Babe?
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, but is the process straight?
No.
Okay.
I think I want that sure,
Yeah.
shoredness
Okay. Now I'm
in
getting it. Right. In
my
the
in my
entrepreneur.
business.
Right.
They are pretty much the only, and my dad,
Yeah.
um,
I can relate to this story. I feel the
no,
same about my kids. I'm
yeah,
real
they are
sure
the
nothing
only thing I've
ambiguous.
ever been
So
sh
what are you not sure about in terms of your business? That you can do it? That you're good enough for it? Is it the stuff we've been talking about? What does the sureness look like when you're the entrepreneur you say that you want to be?
what does that look like?
Yeah.
I think I mean, it probably just looks like doing the do every day.
Okay. Like raising kids.
Right.
Same. I know. There's just no
Yeah,
days off. There's no days off.
yeah, like, just fucking doing it, not,
Right.
um, you know,
Right.
uh
Even when you don't feel like it, even when you're not too sure, even when you feel a little tired, you still do it anyway.
yeah, well, yeah, and when you're sick and when you're, down or whatever, you're still like, they are still a number 1, no
Hmm.
matter what, no
Exactly.
matter what.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Okay, so what's stopping you in those moments where you are on the trajectory and you say, okay, let's go. And then something is stopping you from doing that thing that you do with your kids, which is just showing up anyway. What is that thing stopping you?
Um, most of the time, I mean, what's coming to mind is that it's like the unsuredness
What's not
of
fun about that?
it feels like a failure,
Right. And what's not fun about that?
about feeling like a failure.
Yeah.
Um,
Isn't
it
this
is
why you
not it is not fun proving everybody else right. My high school guidance counselor
That's right.
can go pound sand, and I'm proving him right.
That's right. Exactly. What did you say? Your guidance counselor can what?
Go pound sand.
That's what I thought you said. Just wanted to make sure I got it. Okay, right. Exactly.
Um,
Because,
it's like and I think that what pisses me off the most about it is because I am proving him right. I'm proving my mother right.
oh yeah,
Um,
exactly. And
Anybody who has ever doubted me, I'm
right.
proving right, and that pisses me off.
Yeah, I was just about to say, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
How do you
Um,
feel? What does it make you feel?
and then it makes me feel like a weakling, like,
Yeah, totally.
yeah,
Pisses you off, and then it makes you feel like they're right, and then it makes you feel weak.
right.
Right.
Yes.
How much more time do you have for that? I assume you're my age, or maybe we're in the same age bracket. So
Yeah.
how many more decades do you have to prove other people that they were right in doubting you?
Well, well, logistically, I'm probably not going to die much before I'm 94 because both
Right.
my grandmothers died at 94, 2 weeks
Wonderful.
apart.
Perfect.
Yep.
So you
So
got
I've
like
got
another 4 decades left. Okay. So
another
time.
45 years.
Perfect. Okay. That's a lot
Yeah.
of time. Great. So are you going to spend them proving people right who were wrong? I assume you think they were wrong, do you?
I think that that is where the current fear is because
I agree.
right?
That's right.
What if they are right?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Because I've got really, really like I have got big dreams, big, like audacious, who do you think you are dreams,
Me too. And
you
so
know?
how important is it for you to live your dream? How important is it for you to live your dream?
Um, so then it goes back to the I want it all and I want it all right now, but what if I can't have it all at the same time?
Yeah.
Like I have got it all with my boys. I've
Mm-hmm.
got it all with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to now it's almost like I finally know. I'm finally, Wilson's almost 13.
Mm-hmm.
13 years and I know I'm not going to drop the ball on
Okay.
this.
Okay. Okay.
So
So let me
now
ask
I
you
want to
something.
fold in.
But be honest with me because I'm, also a mother of 2 kids. I also am an entrepreneur. I mean, we have a lot in common. So I think this is a fair question. Be honest. In building that surety with them, how many hours were invested? How many mistakes were made? How many, you know, days did you suffer? How many times have you been waiting in a fucking pickup line? I mean, like, how much investment does it take to get to that level of surety?
Oh, thousands
Right.
of
Okay. But so compared to how sure you are about the things you do at work, what's the ratio? Do you have that same number of inputs into your entrepreneurship?
no, not even close.
Is it even just a fraction?
No, not at
How
this
do
point.
you build that surety without the investment of inputs? Isn't it just a direct correlation?
Probably.
Well, what do you think?
Probably.
I mean, if you're using the example of the raising of the kids, which I think is fair, let's be honest about it. It's a fucking hell of a lot of work. It's very fucking expensive. It's very taxing. When they're little, it's exhausting beyond. I mean, just thinking about it, holy moly, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay. But so you suffered a lot. There was a lot of
Yeah.
pain
You
and
know, there's almost like this other kind of alter part of me that I feel like I give myself time frames.
fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, because what you just said, when they're little, it's like, nearly impossible to take a shower when they're 18 months apart, both in diapers with bubbies, you
Yep.
know?
Mine
Um,
same spacing. So yeah.
yeah. And it's and then when my dad died, February 25th of 2024,
Okay.
on this 2025, February, it was 24th. On the 24th, it was almost like I had given myself this subconscious, unconscious, didn't know about it, didn't pick this year, but it was like I came out of something,
Okay.
like, okay, now I can get back to it, you
Perfect.
know?
So
Um,
you've been getting back to it.
I've been getting back to it and I feel
So
like,
what's going on with you taking 1 year of getting back to something compared with 13 or more years of parenting? How can they possibly have the same amount of durability?
well, I mean, it's the picking of the time frame. I don't know if I've picked this time frame because like now is the time that I can thrive in business and have my boys. Like
Exactly.
now I'm feeling confident enough with
But
my boys.
I'm just wondering, like, given your timing and given the time framing that you're doing, how could you possibly have evolved both areas of confidence equally at the same rate? Doesn't it stand to reason that the kids would be more of an area of surety given the more investment there?
Yeah, but over the last year after losing my dad, it was like I went dormant,
Right.
you
Which is
know?
normal. That's
Yeah.
you're a therapist, so you know that that's normal.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So tell me again then what's the problem? I've lost track of the problem now because
right?
it all sounds pretty reasonable. I lost my dad,
Um,
I got back on it. I have less time invested in this. I have less energy. So it's all kind of adds up.
well, like holding myself away from the what I say I want. I think that's what I'm afraid of with this. Like, I'm afraid that I'm going to do this again right now and
What?
then
I'm afraid I'm
start.
going to do what? Start and
With
stop?
him. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Because right now I'm feeling pretty good, but
yeah,
I'm on to myself.
I know. What would it take to get off of yourself then instead of being onto yourself? What would it take to just be like, okay, I'm not going to judge myself like that. I'm going to just let it rip and see what happens.
Yeah, let it rip. Um,
Well, because onto yourself is already so hardcore, like, what are we going to do? Be onto ourselves all of our lives? Like, that's
well,
not,
it's almost like I know I'm full of shit.
I know. I agree with that. It's
Yeah.
funny too, because you're onto yourself for being onto yourself. Do you see that? You're onto the fact that you know that you're onto it. So how many of those are you going to pile on? What does it
Yeah.
cost you to be suspicious of yourself?
Hmm. Well, it's cost me a tremendous amount of success in my business.
Right? Which is also costing you a tremendous amount
Yeah.
of money and fun.
You know, with my boys, I think I was so afraid. I had to prove it to myself. I was so afraid of um of having the same relationship with them
Right, that you
that
had.
I did with
Mom.
my mother.
Exactly.
And
You were,
it's kind of the same feelings. I'm so afraid that I
I
I
get
had
it.
to prove with my boys that I actually do have what it fucking takes to
Yeah.
raise exceptional young men, and we are, like, thick as thieves. We are besties,
Yeah.
and,
So you knocked it out of the park,
yeah,
even without a mom who showed you how.
yeah,
Why can't
um,
that be the case with entrepreneurship as well? What if it just
I
turns
think
out that you're
I think
great at it and that's
I
just
really fucking want it to be.
what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, say more about that. Well, what if it does turn out to be the same? I'm very interested in your
I
kind of like doubt mentality because
yeah.
you're so suspicious of your own doubt. So how are you benefiting from it? Moreover, you've proven that you can defy, the program because you did it with the kids. So what makes you think you wouldn't defy it with this as well? It's interesting with you because you have so much proof of concept in front of you.
I do.
Yeah, you really.
Um, oh, I can yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny because I can
What?
yeah. Well, I've tried so, like, I take risks. I do take risks, and then I, like, moved to Ireland on the, whim and came home from Ireland with 7 euros in my pocket, and it was a 3-day trip, and I just did it, like, you know, like, by myself, let's just go."
Okay.
So shit like that does not scare me. I'm taking my boys to Ecuador for 6 weeks this summer by
Yeah,
myself.
that's
Like,
great.
eh,
Oh, I'm jealous. That sounds phenomenal.
you know?
Okay, so
Um,
now you've even added another layer, which is I'm also a good planner. I'm also good at adventure. I'm also a good risk taker.
yeah.
And yet there's something about like, let's just back up for a second, actually. So what is the risk involved in the entrepreneurship? I'm still not sure I understand the problem.
Well, now I don't think I understand it either.
Yeah, me
Um,
neither. Well, good.
um,
Perfect. That's what we want.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I mean,
Right.
I
Exactly.
mean, in pretty much all other areas, I'm pretty badass, and I have, like,
Isn't it true that you actually are a badass at this, but you just sort of deny it? I mean, I
oh,
see online all the time. You've been paying your bills for 20 years now doing this business. So, like, aren't you actually quite good at this too? I mean, I even know your numbers because you've told them to me before, which I won't say them out loud right now. But I mean, a 25% increase would be a lot. A 50% increase would be like phenomenal. If you would double it, which is actually not that hard, like then you would be laughing, right? So we're not talking about like starting from scratch. We're talking about a scaling.
right.
Okay, but here you are telling me like it's
Yeah.
not even happening for you at all. So can you put it back into perspective?
Um,
Let me ask you
Mhm.
let me ask you to put it in perspective in a very simple way. What do you actually want? What exactly do you want?
oh, what do I exactly want? I want I want to be s the I wanna be supporting my whole family, um, and not being tied down to one-on-one clients anymore. I've had 20 years, I don't wanna be tied down to that schedule. They light me up. I
Yeah.
love my one-on-ones, but I don't want that codependent,
So what do you
um
want instead of that?
so I have a community, and I want, in my community, I want, 100 people, and that would be like,
Enough to pay the bills?
oh, fuck yes. That would be, I mean, at 97 bucks a month, and I
Right.
could I
Right.
mean, for what I'm giving, I could easily raise that, but then that's, comes into the whole, like,
But so
you
you could
know
have like a gold tier,
yeah.
silver tier, bronze
So at
tier.
97, it's about 10 grand a month,
Totally.
and if we're living in Ecuador, yeah, that's yeah,
Okay,
um,
so the problem so far, I think, has gone from I don't know what to do, I'm scared, I have fears, blah blah blah, to what I really need is 100 people in my community.
yeah,
That's really the problem.
that's the goal.
Yeah. The problem is there's not 100 people yet.
The problem is my, actual belief that I can do that.
Okay, so let me ask you a very simple question about as simple as they come. Can you run a group of 100 people?
Well, it's a community, so it would be yes, it would be like smaller cohorts, and the larger
I
community
don't
would
care
be
about the
yeah,
dot, dotting
go
the I's and
yeah.
crossing the T's. I'm sure you can figure that out. But can you run? I mean, my goal is a
I
thousand.
don't know.
I want a thousand.
I don't know, I wanna find out.
Okay,
I
but
want
but I'm asking
yeah,
you just like from what
yeah,
you know about your skill set, who you
yes.
are, what you've achieved. You're a dirt biker, you're a, mother, you've been running a business for a long time. Do you have the bandwidth and knowledge to run that? However it goes down, cohorts or whatever.
Yes.
But
It feels like an either or. It really does feel like an either or. It is either my community. I also have a children's book series that I am done, ready to illustrate, and I want to get that out into the world.
oh,
I want to do the community and my children's books and get away from one-on-one clients unless they're like, you know, really high ticket.
okay.
That's what I want.
What
That's what I
what
want.
but the question was, do you have the capacity?
It's either or. So if I'm doing one-on-one clients, then I'm tied down to the schedule that I don't want to be tied down to anymore.
Oh,
I want the freedom to be living the life that I have with the boys now,
So let me ask you something. Is your idea that magically there'll be the 100 people in the group and then you can just get off one-to-one like right away? Like
No.
what's stopping you from building the community while you're decreasing the one-to-one, which again is a mirror of what I'm doing. That's the same idea. I'm growing this community, which is why we're all here right now,
Yeah.
that I can do less one-to-one because same issue. So why can't they crossfade? I
Well,
love
they're gonna have, yeah, they're gonna have to, and they are right now.
But so
Um,
what's the problem? I don't understand. What is the problem if they're gonna crossfade and you know how to do both and they're both being monetized at the moment? So tell me again, what is the problem? Take your time.
um,
We're zeroing in on it. I'm getting
yeah,
closer, but I'm not
yeah.
sure I know yet.
Um, I don't, so the bandwidth question, and that's been coming up in the last, since we talked last week, of the, how much can I hold?
Right.
How much can I hold? How
Yes.
much, and then it just goes back to the, I don't have what it takes to hold all that. I don't
Right. That's
have what
why
it,
that's why I asked you the
you know,
question. I want you to answer that because that's what I want to know is do you have it?
I want to
Because
grow into
if
having
your
that.
answer is I don't have it, then my follow-up question is from everything you know, which is a lot, how can you develop that? If
Yeah.
you already have it, then the question is, well, what's stopping you from actualizing it?
I think it's the what's stopping me.
Exactly.
Um,
I agree with that. You already have the tools. You already have a full box of know-how. Probably too much. It's probably so much that it's interrupting you. You probably know too many things. I sometimes get that too. Like, what am I going to speak about on the video today? When really I could speak about literally
for friggin' days.
50,000 fucking things, right?
Yes.
Literally, it's
Yep.
ridiculous. I mean, I
Yep.
have PhDs worth of knowledge on top of all the hypnosis and experience, clinical
Yep.
parenting. I mean, it's bizarre. It's beyond what every audience member of my. So, given that you have that same thing,
Yeah.
what's the problem?
So yeah, it feels like I have, I like the best kept secret. I keep myself the best kept secret,
Yeah. Okay.
you know?
So when are you going to let everyone know?
Um,
When are you going to, and let me ask you this too, aside from keeping the best kept secret and letting it out of the box, wouldn't that help a lot of people? Isn't that the ultimate goal to like help more people and make more positive impact? So why are you holding on to it? What's the good of keeping it close to your chest?
yeah, I really don't know.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine. Maybe there isn't any good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, like the, I don't know, the visibility piece. I don't know. I mean, like the I don't know. I've always been, because I told, like live in a small town, and my family owned a pharmacy since 1921 till
Mhm.
about, it's about 100 years. Um
That's
and
good.
I worked there, and it was like my family's legacy. That's why the only reason I stayed here was for that pharmacy and for my dad.
Right.
Although that's probably a lie, because I moved away several times and always came back because it was that
Okay.
push, that stop start thing.
Okay. Fair.
Um, so I've always been very, very well known, very well known.
Okay. Okay.
Um, you
Now we're
know,
getting somewhere. So part of the problem
like
is you're well known and
in my local area,
yeah.
yes.
What does that have to do with this?
Um, the so it's the visibility piece that I just brought up. Like, why is it different putting myself out on, like, online globally, because I want to go global like
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
um, when in my local area, I just went to Walmart, and one of the workers there was like, "Thank you for doing your videos again." And I was like, "Oh shit. Yeah."
Jen in our group told me the same thing. She's like, I was at Target and some lady was like, oh my God, the videos.
Yeah. And I
So
was
what's the
like,
issue? What is
she
the
goes, they're so helpful. And I was like,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
Like,
you.
do you not believe that they're helpful? Like, do you
No,
think that no one watches them?
I kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
What's the good of that? What's the benefit of that? Why make them and think, oh, this fucking sucks? Isn't that exactly what we're here telling people not to do? Like that's anti-hypnosis or negative hypnosis. So what are you doing that?
I wonder if it's because um I don't know if I just don't think that I'm making that much of an impact
Is that
or
how you do your parenting? Do you do your parenting half-assed where you're like, hey, yay, you can do the goal, but I kind of don't believe it? Like,
no,
no, that's not how we do our parenting. We do it
no.
like full throttle, even if they fail, even if they fuck up, it doesn't matter. We still go
Yeah.
for it, right?
Yes.
So that's the piece that you're good at in parenting that's lacking from this. How do you benefit from that? How do you benefit from that hesitation? How does your audience benefit from you hesitating? There's a very good question.
Well, they don't.
Okay. Isn't that the problem in your business then?
Me hesitating?
Well, I mean, you're saying the audience doesn't benefit from you doing it with hesitation, and then you're asking, why don't I have a better business? Well,
Yeah, I mean, so I can do a video. I can pop off a video, no problem.
yeah, but
Doesn't bother me at all one little bit.
lay
Um,
the butt on me.
yeah,
I can hear it. What is the but?
but I don't
Believe in
I
it?
think that's all I'm doing. That's
What?
all it only posting videos. Like that's all I'm doing.
So let
You
me
know?
ask you, I just before you move on to like what else could I be doing? Like, do you believe in it when you're doing that? Are you
Okay, doing
conveying an
that?
energy? Yeah, are you conveying an energy of like, I totally believe in this?
Um,
Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like you totally believe in it? You just told me you didn't, so I already know.
no, no, no. I do, and then I pick it apart, and then I pick myself apart.
What's the benefit of that? Whose voice is that though? Like, Sydney, whose voice is that? The picking it apart voice. Because I think you know. I think
Oh
you know
yes,
whose
it's
that is.
Nancy,
Yeah, which is your mom.
my mother. I don't call her mom. I call
I
her
know.
Nancy.
You didn't have to tell me. I could tell. Right.
Yeah.
Nancy's voice is the one picking it apart.
Yes.
Okay. What's
Yes.
the benefit of that since it's fucked you over for 50 some odd years now? What is the benefit of that? Like, how much longer does she get to be the voice in your head is another way of asking it. Because she's not you. Obviously, you've obviously done an improvement on her, right? And by
I,
the way, bless our parents, like it's not their fault that they didn't have access to all the stuff we have access to. So I'm not trying to beat up on her, but you have been a
she sucks. It's okay. She sucks.
okay, well, bless her heart, she's not here. But generationally, you have improved. You have broken that cycle, right?
I've done everything I possibly can in my life to be the opposite of her.
Except for her voice is dictating
Except
your
for,
daily
yes.
actions.
Yes.
So what the hell's that? Fuck that. If we're gonna swear, we might as well.
Yeah.
Like, really? What's
I don't
gonna
know. I wonder, am I using that as motivation to be not her? Um,
except that you are kind of believing her because ultimately what you're
yeah.
saying is she might be right. Like when you see yourself at the end of your life laying on your deathbed, which is going to happen like one way or another, your kids will be there, it's going to be a moment of reckoning in your life. Are you going to look at that lady and be like, oh, I never listened to my own inner voice. I always was listening to Nancy. Or are you going
I'm
to look at yourself on
yeah.
that day and think like, well, thank God that I got my attention in the right place and stopped living according to somebody else's bullshit idea.
Yeah, I'm terrified of
Which is a
that day
Mhm.
and not ever having gone for it
I agree.
with my business.
And I see that that's why you asked for help today, which is cool. And I
Yeah.
understand that. But also,
I parent from a place of how I will be remembered.
okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And,
What will it look like to do your business in the same way?
of how I will be remembered. Ooh.
That's right. Exactly.
Ooh.
Don't worry, we have it on recording, so you can. That's a good one. I like that.
That is a good one.
Right. Exactly. Legacy
Holy
model.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Take your time.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. That feels good.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sure does.
I'm not going to be remembered as starting and stopping 500 times.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
no. No fucking way.
So now with that, how will I be remembered?
Mhm.
Now it feels tremendously selfish to not
Yeah.
to
Agree.
not be going as far and as fast and as big as I possibly can.
I
Like,
love that. Exactly. Damn straight. That's right.
um,
Good job.
wow. Yeah.
And when you really feel into that, isn't that really the truth of who you are?
It is.
Like if you don't do that, it's not really fully you. You
No, and
feel it.
it's never felt
I know.
aligned
I
to
know.
hold myself back. It
I
has
know.
felt more, um,
Well, because it's Nancy's idea, it's not yours.
more like a hostage. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, whose hostage are you?
Yeah.
Whose hostage are you? Are you somebody's hostage at this point? How old are you?
I have been apparently keeping myself
I know.
there.
I get that.
Yeah. Um, I don't dig that at all. Um,
Right. Exactly.
yeah, how will I be remembered?
Yeah. How will you be remembered?
So good.
So good. And also, I mean, I haven't leveraged your kids into this yet, but I might as well do it now. I mean, how will you be remembered globally, but also what is the legacy they're observing? I mean, I'm going to burst into tears because it's so important to me, but like, I really love that my business is based on helping people in magic because my children are watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
It means a lot to me. Like, my oldest daughter understands it now. You know, she's like, oh, soul doctor, mom, that's so cool. Where'd you come up with that? So she's
Yeah.
now watching me live a dream
Yeah.
I didn't even know I had that helps people with this thing. So it's like more and more layers of, as you say, the way I'm going to be remembered. Like when my kids look back on it, they're going to be like, my mom was a single working mom from home and she pulled off this crazy business.
Yeah.
You know, like one day they're going to understand more of what that takes, which they already do. But like, how important is that to you? Are the kids to watch you live your dream and actualize it and not be resentful and frustrated all the time?
Yeah, I want them to know that they can too. They can too.
So how are you going to do that if you don't?
If I'm not.
Well, if you just keep going back and forth, what is the demo for them?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they're starting to observe is you? And I mean, the reason I ask that is because we're asking about, well, you know, what is the legacy? What do I want to leave? Well, part of it is what do I want them to be watching me create right now?
Right.
Because that is
Yeah.
the legacy. I mean,
Yeah.
how important is this to you? Obviously, it was very important to me. So thank you for letting me, you know, come to terms with that in your session. But also, how important is that to you?
I want
Do you want them to get to watch you explode?
Yes, I want them to know. I want to show them, I want to prove to them that they can do life different.
Totally. Exactly. That's
That
right.
we're not stuck in the
Exactly.
bullshit elementary school
That's
schedule that
right.
was meant for the Industrial Revolution, and they're not going to go to work in a factory. So what's the 7 to
Exactly.
3 bullshit? Like, um,
Disassociate time from money. That's a
yes, but
that.
also that we're not even stuck in this country. Like we can go,
That's right.
you know,
Ecuador for 6 weeks.
but living, it all comes back to living in someone else's expectations.
I get that.
You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like my mother's expectations, and what does she get out of keeping me down? That's a rhetorical question because I already know.
Exactly.
Um, she's hated me since I was born because my father and I were super tight.
Hmm.
That's actually the relationship that I always wanted to have with my boys, was what I had with my dad.
Right.
And she was always jealous. She used to call me his girlfriend, which is just fucking weird. Um, and
Well,
I'm the one here taking care of her. So, um, but yeah, it's the like,
is there a piece of you that wants to make peace with that too, so that it doesn't interrupt you so much?
which part?
Well,
Her?
if you're gonna have to take care of her and you're, disgusted by her, well, how much energy does that cost you all the time, all the days? I'm just wondering because as an entrepreneur, it's important to, not waste energy. So at what point does that become also topical for you?
Um,
I mean,
do
maybe you've already resolved it. Maybe you have peace with it. I don't know.
do I want to? I feel like in order for that to happen, I would have to just like accept
Mm-hmm.
everything that she's ever done, and I'm not willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because she is not even willing to admit that she ever really did anything wrong
What
or
does her what
hurtful
does what
or
does what does her admitting it or having an opinion of it have to do with you?
hmm.
I always tell people like, well, the people we're complaining about aren't here. So we can't work with them, unfortunately. That's why we're the ones that are getting better and they're not. So what's really at stake with her ever owning it since she never will? Probably.
I think it would be um
Take your
I
time.
don't know. I mean, since I can't just get away from her,
Mm-hmm.
like physically right now in
Yeah,
this geographic location I'm in,
I get it.
um, and my brothers have already tapped out. They don't want her either. Um, I think it would make it easier for me to want to have something to do with her. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like there's always this underlying,
not exactly, but
God,
okay.
you
If
were an
she if
abusive.
she would change, it would be easier for you. Is that what you're saying?
No, not necessarily change, but just admit that she was horrible to us.
Uh-huh.
Horrible.
And how
And
long are you going to be a holdout for if this would happen, then I would feel better?
I honestly don't think it's ever gonna happen.
I don't either. I don't either because it's like it's been proven. There's been
Yeah.
ample opportunity. Well,
Yeah.
what is it costing you?
Well, apparently it's costing me this big giant fat fucking business that I want.
And the
And just the peace, and just peace and belief and trusting in myself and
exactly,
knowing that I am
exactly. And
uh
the legacy piece.
as so it is I mean costing me consistently feeling powerful.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, are you at the point of your life where you're ready to feel that consistent power?
I think so.
Okay.
I want to be.
Right.
I am terrified that I will continue the rest of my life like I have this
Mm-hmm.
last 47 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I will truly get to the end of it and be like, wow, that could
Is
have
that
been so much better.
is that really what you believe? That there's a possibility that you're gonna just fold? I mean, you said I'm terrified. Are you really terrified you're not gonna change? Why are you terrified?
Because it's been the pattern up until now.
Hasn't it just taken this long to realize what the pattern is? I mean, I'm 46, so we're only a year apart, and I feel like this was the year of my reckoning. I mean, I'm
Yes,
like,
like
maybe I'll feel that again next year. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe it took us this long. So, okay.
yeah,
What's the problem with that? Better late than never, or better eventually. Some people never do it, by the way. So at least we're doing it. That's good.
right.
Okay. So what's the
Yeah.
problem if it just happens to be now?
I hope it is now. I
Well, what
like
other, this is the whole thing. If it's not now, then the
when.
era from before will continue. So
Yeah.
we only really, that's the beauty of transformation. It really comes down to either I'm going to continue or I'm not going to continue. And
Yeah.
then me get straight on what it would take to not continue. So I'm asking you, I guess, most simply at this point, is now the moment? How do you know it's now? Let's do that. How do you know it's now? That's it. Exactly. Take your time.
Um, I really want it to be now.
How do you know it's probably now, aside from wanting it to be now? What evidence do you
Well,
have?
I still have that fear because I've felt like that like this is it
Yeah.
so many times before. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Um,
Did you learn anything from that?
I
Didn't you learn from that that it wasn't because you didn't have the belief that it was, that you just thought you did? Isn't it true that each iteration of that actually gives you more clarity about what you're missing?
I feel like yes, if you make progress from it.
Did you? Have you been making steady progress?
Um, I make lots and lots and lots of progress on
I
everything.
know. I know.
On everything. And then I don't pull the trigger. I just jump to a different thing to make progress on.
I get
That's
that.
the pattern. That's
Okay.
the pattern.
Right. So you
Um,
just focus on one thing, you could make progress on that thing.
so it's almost like I'm addicted and codependent with the progress and creating things and
Good.
never actually completing it, never actually picking one and following through.
That's great. So now you have a codependence on progress, which is a good codependence, actually, if it were in the area you wanted it. The problem is that it's too
Right.
scattershot. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. So codependence all
So
is
I
all.
just get to choose what I'm progressing on
I
or
think
in.
so. I mean, I don't see why not, since you
Yeah.
have many skills and goals.
Yeah.
Right. But so it's not that you failed at each thing, it's that you've diverted your attention.
Right.
Okay. Isn't that exactly what happens when people quit addiction? They're like, "Mm, maybe the patch, maybe the gum, maybe the walking every day." And then they're like, nah, not that. Nah, nah, nah. Oh, it's this. Okay. And then they eventually quit. So, and then they come to us and say, I tried everything, nothing worked. But it was actually like, but you got here, which
Right.
helped you actually do it because all the other things were informational. So what's the problem with that? Isn't that just how the mind works? It's slow sometimes.
Yeah. Um,
Which really, against the backdrop of the millions of people who never do it, is actually not slow. It's fast.
right. Right.
Well, yeah,
Um,
seriously.
hmm. And isn't it funny that I have,
Already know this.
huh?
Already know this, but what were you gonna say?
Well, no, no, no. And isn't it funny that instead of focusing on that positive reframe, I have,
I know,
historically compared myself to the people who I have
I know.
um
But whose voice is that?
assumed without any knowledge that they
That's,
were better than me or
I,
like had the thing that I didn't have or
and I mean,
um
at the end of the day, I'm also very tempted to ask you, so what? I mean, there's lots of therapists in the world, millions actually. There's lots of conversational hypnosis. There's lots of people who suck at their jobs. Like, so what? There's lots of people better at their jobs than me. There's lots of people worse. Okay, well, that doesn't disenfranchise me. I'm just
but
me.
at the end of the day we never know their actual truth. We
I
know
agree with that.
what
That's so why is it of any interest to you? That's my whole question.
right.
And what, I mean, at the end of the day, too, like, what do we get out of comparison? It's just a pipe dream, kind of. What does that have to do with you evolving who you are? And by the way, I mean, while we're on that topic, isn't it also true that when you're doing a weird thing like hypnosis or like a standout product, like which is what we're doing, that there is no really direct correlation or comparison? Like at the end of the day, my product is unique and my niche is unique and my approach is unique. And so I could think, oh, well, X person is doing better, X person has more clients, but it doesn't really stand to reason either.
Yeah.
So why does that even pick up brainwaves? Imagine your kid's doing it. Oh, but he's better at soccer, so I will exclude myself? Like,
Yeah.
no.
So it feels like the comparison is an excuse or a justification to hold myself out of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, are you willing to stop that? Since it doesn't do anything positive. And since we wouldn't encourage our kids to live like that either.
Right.
Okay, but so what are you going to do next time you are scrolling your phone and you're like, oh, Maya has another video up that's better than mine? What are you going to do? Oh, there she is again. I have that with my mentors and gurus too. Oh, fuck. It's better than mine. What are you going to do?
I see. I don't think that. I think of the quantity.
Okay, that's fine. So what I
Yeah.
think that too. So what are you going to do
Yeah.
next time you think that?
Quantity.
Right.
Um,
Next time you have that, you're scrolling.
it actually is really resonating of the how am I going to be remembered
Good. Love it.
for
Exactly.
um
Exactly.
yeah, all of the yeah, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So how are you going to be remembered? Are you going to be remembered as a stop-start person who never made it happen? And who deeply, deeply, you know, wished for a dream that she didn't believe in the end? No,
No.
definitely not.
Um,
That's it. Good. Great.
yeah.
Yeah. Keep going. That's it. Just take your time right here. No rush.
Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, right now I'm not going to be remembered as much of anything. I mean,
Mm,
I know I have a much larger reach and a much bigger impact on people that I don't like, I don't even necessarily remember helping or, like clients from 20 years ago. And yeah, um, but I want that reach to be, yeah, to be global. I want everybody to believe in themselves. That's kind of my whole,
I mean, so like there's 10 billion people out here these days, I
yeah.
believe. Let's say 2 billion of them don't have electricity or whatever, advanced wireless, etc. So there's like 8, 7, 6, 4, maybe 3 billion, who have access. You don't think there's 100 people in those several billion who would do great in your
Yes, that would just set up my life and my family to live so comfortably on the beach, like
But
surfing.
answer the question. You don't think out of billions of people, there's 100 who want to join your cause?
I do yes, I do think that there is, if they knew about it.
That's right.
Like,
Exactly. That's the
yeah,
point. I agree. I know there's 1,000 people out there who want to train with me. They just don't know about me yet.
yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's not a problem for me.
Right.
Actually, it's kind of fun. I want them to find me.
It's kind of fun.
I can't wait to meet them all. It's like that thing about all the people who don't know love you yet are still yet in your future. Don't you want to know who they are? Yeah, of course I do. Don't you? Won't it
Yes.
feel amazing when there are 100 people in there who are all talking to each other and texting you and messaging and saying, wow, I feel better. And isn't that amazing? The chatter and the something to wake up to every morning. I love
Yeah.
it. I love looking in my group and seeing who messaged and who has something to share and who got a new client. I love all that stuff. It feels
Yeah,
good. It does, doesn't it?
it does.
Yeah. Can you see yourself as that person who holds that container
Yeah. Yeah.
and lets the kids live on the beach while you're doing it?
Teaching them that they can do life different. Yes.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. And then you don't have to have a 9 to 5 job and you don't have to
yeah.
sign up for the usual yucky stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Are you
the,
sure? Okay, so review the whole thing again. What's the problem?
um, um, yeah, I mean, how am I going to be remembered? God,
Mhm. So,
yeah, wow.
mm, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, that's,
It's very important how you're going to be remembered. Just like how you're going to be remembered as a mom.
Yeah. My dad was beloved. I mean,
So was
he
mine.
he was truly the kindest, most
Yep.
giving, most well liked, just would
Exactly.
go out of his way. And I have done everything in my life to be not my mother, but to be
More like him.
my dad. Truly, the thing I am most proud of is being Bill Spencer's daughter in my whole life.
I can totally relate to that. And so, does that also
And
give you information on how you want to be inside of?
moving forward,
Yeah,
yes.
as in service, I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
that play into the same information?
Yes, because it feels tremendously selfish
Exactly.
to be, like, hoarding all of this knowledge and
Exactly.
experience and,
Would
like,
he do that? Would your dad do that? No, he'd be like, "Come on, daughter, let's go.
yeah,
Let's spread it
like,
around."
give it. You have it, give it.
Isn't it going to be an interesting honoring of him and his love and
Yeah,
devotion? I'm going to cry again. When you do that,
yeah,
is that important to you? Like an act of
yeah.
devotion?
He was, there were 3 people in my life who believed in me no matter what, unconditionally. When I
Yep.
had some harebrained idea,
Yep.
my grandmother, my father, and, I call her my soul mom, actually.
Oh, sweet.
Um,
I can relate.
yeah,
Yep.
like, yeah.
So if it's the three of their voices instead of Nancy's voice, does that make a difference to you when you look inside of yourself?
Yeah, that feels so much better.
So much better. And so much more in line with what really happened. I mean, the subconscious
Mhm.
always goes to the negative. Like, you know that from working with it. That's just the program. So the three versus the one is still winning out over the three. So how about it switches now?
Yeah,
The three actually get their just voice.
yeah, that also, for some reason, I feel, like, sorry for her
Yeah,
now,
exactly. That's right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Maybe it's compassion for what she missed,
Yeah,
which is very heartbreaking and hard. But at the same time, is it important enough to condition your life and your future and your kids' futures?
that's her path, not
Exactly.
mine, not
Exactly.
mine.
That's
I
right.
can't fix it for her, I've tried.
Exactly.
Um,
That's right.
yeah, um,
And bless her. I mean, she's gonna, you know, sort out her own destiny as we
yeah,
all. So
yeah,
you're doing your best to help her right now, to help her be alive, to help her function, which is the most you can do.
yeah.
Is that okay with you?
See, my mind is going to, I can always do more.
Yeah.
Um, and then it went to, well, maybe you could do more differently.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And,
if I had if I had this big, beautiful business,
yeah.
um,
Right. Then I could do more differently. Exactly.
yeah,
That's right. And for the kids
yes,
and for the whole family,
yes,
all the way down to like better dog food or whatever.
yes.
Right. Okay. How important is that to you? How bad do you want it? How badly do you want it? Are you ready?
Yeah, I just keep coming back to that. How am I gonna be remembered?
Yeah, exactly. You solved it. That's the whole thing.
Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you something. Next time you notice I'm going back on what I said, what are you going to feel? Because that's how it works, right? You're going to leave the session and then something will happen in your real life. And you're going to be like, "Ugh, I'm here at the spotted juncture again." So then what? Imagine yourself at work processing through business, and then you're like,
So, with my boys, when I'm in that moment of like, wish I hadn't done that, or wish I hadn't said that, wish I
exactly.
didn't snap,
Yep,
I apologize.
exactly.
Like,
Because you're human.
I'm a big, big, big apologizer.
So am I.
Um,
So can you now apologize to yourself and do what you would do? Oh, sorry, self. I didn't mean to take you down today. That was Nancy. Never mind. Moving right along. Are you able to do that? Become an apologizer to yourself
um,
since you're already good at it.
yeah, I mean, it's
Do you
I
want
don't
me
know, I
to?
don't necessarily know if it's apologizing to myself, but, like, making up for it,
That's
like,
right.
giving more, remembering,
That's right.
um, you
It's
know,
part of the story.
yeah, how am I being, who am I harming, actually? Who am I harming by not doing this?
Okay. So next time you start the go back and forth thing, you're going to think to yourself, who am I harming with this?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And then what are you going to do?
Um, um, I don't know, post a video?
Yeah. Keep going. Do whatever's on the
Do
list.
do something, some bit of action.
Exactly. Instead
Some
of
bit of action.
instead of
Yeah. Well, some bit of action instead of nothing.
exactly. Okay, and let's say it's a failure. Let's say you post it. You know what I did the other day? I posted a video at the end of which I fuck up and I'm like, oh fuck. And it's like 6 minutes in and I got like 100 and some views on it. So everybody watched me go to the end of the video and be like, oh fuck this, I have to re-record it. But I thought that was the good one, so I posted it. So I just thought it was hilarious because like 100 people watched it and did they care that no, probably not. So let's say you fuck up and it's just like, so then what do you do? Let's say you do post it, you keep going and you do
Yeah,
another thing,
yeah.
but it's I don't know, not the right message or has no audio or something's wrong with it, then what?
Right.
Let's say you lose all of your videos one day.
Oh, make another one?
Yeah. Okay, and are you gonna go through the whole thing of this is because I suck and this is because I'm worthless and this is because I don't have it in me?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, videos are easy for me, so it's not
Oh,
a
you can make more.
not a biggie. That wouldn't be a biggie.
Is it true that your legacy requires that of you at this point
Requires what of me?
to continue to pursue it? Come hell or high water.
You know, it really I feel, compelled is not the right word. Maybe it is the right word. I mean, like, really um, to really go big. There are so many people
Exactly.
that I'm like, harming
Yeah,
by withholding this.
yeah,
Withholding,
yeah, I know.
that's a whole nother.
Withholding it from all these people who deserve
Yeah.
you to be successful. You're right. I agree. I think that's a huge driver.
Well, I mean, the success piece, it will just naturally follow, and that's not even on my
Okay.
mind anymore because now it's just like,
Do the steps.
just get out there, because it's almost, is evangelical the right word?
I
Uh,
love that. Let's make it evangelical. I
yeah,
think it should be.
but
It's religious. It's robotic, actually.
yeah, well, it's like,
The more I'm in business, the more I feel like a robot because truly it's a lot of button pushing and repetition.
right, and in that, you are reaching
I know.
like the,
Well, because once you have a system, then you have a business. If you're
yeah,
just making it up every day, that's not a
right.
business. That's just keeping yourself busy. The system is what makes a business. The
Yeah.
infrastructure is what makes a business.
The system is,
What?
needs some, needs some love.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do about that?
Make it,
Yeah, exactly. There's no
make,
other options. Like, that's
yeah,
the thing.
make the system
Once you decide,
because,
like,
so I feel it, the goal has changed.
good, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Let me hear it.
The goal has changed because the goal when we first started was to stop the stop start or start stop.
Yep.
Um and to um like be successful,
Exactly.
whatever success means. And
Mhm.
now it is really um like like there are people that need this. And
Yeah.
would my dad, you know, withhold a he saved a kid's life. He got up at 3 in the morning one time, opened the store, sold $1.50 enema, and saved a kid's life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It gives
Like,
me,
um,
that's right. And if he hadn't been there, who knows
right.
what would have happened? Well, what if that's the same with
Yeah.
you? Isn't it the same with you? I
Yes.
have tons of reviews on my site that are like, when I got there, I was in shambles.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't feel that special, but I'm really glad I was special to that person.
Yeah.
Okay. How important is that to you?
That's is what I was trying to say earlier. I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm all that special, but people come up to me like out of the blue, and I was really special to them.
Who are we to decide what's special about, it's like sometimes you make a video and you think, oh, that's not that important. And then somebody writes to you, that's exactly what I needed to hear today.
Yes.
And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I'm glad it's out there. So
Yeah.
why are we judging what we're producing? What's the point of that? Maybe
Yeah.
somebody needs it. Maybe it hits somebody the right way.
Yeah.
So could you just not think about all of those in between thoughts and just let the people decide?
I don't know if I'm gonna have those in between thoughts anymore.
Much better. Love that. Okay,
Yeah, because
great.
the whole
Mm,
thing has like morphed into this
love that. Perfect. Good.
um
Keep going.
way I already live. The way
Thank
I
you.
already live. It just
Exactly. That's the
is.
whole thing with you. You have a template right in front of you. I love
Yeah,
what you did in the session. You said, I already know how to do this. I proved the concept with my kids, and I already know. Now I
yeah,
just need to flip it onto something else. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
how hard is that? You already know.
yeah,
And
it's
guess
already.
what? Do you know how you know that? Blood, sweat, and tears. You fucking earned
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's already my way of being,
I know.
and I already have, like,
I know.
the way of being of
That's right.
practicing,
Exactly.
the loving kindness even with myself, because sometimes it's like, when you lose your mind, like I'm not a hitter. I've never been a hitter because I get hit a lot.
Mhm.
But sometimes when it's like, like, get in the car, get in the goddamn car. And there was no reason to freak out. Like, and then I apologize. And I am harder on myself than I ever was on my boys, you know?
No, just
Um,
and now what are you gonna do?
yeah.
That's all normal. That's just how the mind works. But now you're becoming cognizant of it and realizing it. So now what?
I mean, that's all stuff to be like really transparent about because I'm human too, not some like,
Right.
but, and that's why, like the real raw videos like you posted the other day, that's the best stuff to post because we're not these, untouchable brain surgeon, like,
Exactly.
um,
So
that's
you
not relatable at all.
so you have all the information, you have
Yeah.
all the approachability, you have the
Yeah.
skill set, you have a concept, you have a vision, you have a product.
Yeah.
What's the problem? You have a vision of the legacy. You have kids that you want to support and give them more. What's the problem? Review the whole thing now. Like look at it from many angles. Astral, physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, cognitive. Look at it all the ways because you know your mind can do that.
Yeah.
And just tell me like, so is there anything left that's going to stop you?
Is there anything left that's going to stop me?
Yeah.
Um,
From all the angles.
um,
Don't rush. Take your time.
the only thing that would have stopped me before was me.
I know.
um, and n- now,
That's it.
yeah, I feel, like that fear that I had before of, yeah, I've said this shit before and I've never, like, I haven't followed through. Now I just have, it's like like a calm,
Mhm.
um,
Right.
drive, if
Which,
that
by
makes,
the way, it was there the whole time. You just didn't get in touch with it. You didn't
yeah.
like come up with it today. You've always had that knowing. That's why you're here, because you knew you had it. It pre-exists this call, is what I'm saying.
I just didn't have access to it. I
I
really
know.
didn't. I really didn't. Really, really, really wanted to, but I didn't have it.
I know.
Um, what's gonna stop me? Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there is anything that's gonna stop me.
And how does that feel?
Um, lighter.
Okay, I'll take it. That's
Yeah,
all. Good.
yeah.
Have you lied about anything? Is there anything you've withheld?
I don't think so. I don't think so. We've touched on a lot.
No,
Um,
you did a great job. Is there anything you'd like to tell me that you haven't told me so far? Is there anything you want me to tell you?
not that I can come up with.
So, you know the story. You're going to feel a little wired now, a little excited, maybe a lot excited. Maybe you feel kind of elated, ecstatic, tired. I like to do these in the evening because you can sleep pretty soon, be chill, relax, and then be aware, like you are going to now realize a lot of things and maybe have some highs and lows, emotions going in and out. So don't don't get too excited about it. Just let it move through you. It's just the brain recalibrating. So just observe it.
Yeah.
I would like you to write me a message by this time next week. So it's Thursday right now. So by this time next week, I'd like you to say, like, oh, that's amazing. I blah, 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 did X and Y, just like I said I would, and it was easy and it was fun. Let me know anything you want to share or ask questions if you want.
I will. Thank you. I don't have that normal, like I told you before, feels like gas and brake on at the same time, like that internal,
Yeah,
uh,
I know. Isn't
like
that great? It,
pressure, anxiety. Yeah, it just feels really, um, like chill and aligned and really
that's right.
whole is the
Full,
whole.
whole. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
Exactly. Exactly. Because you did that. You filled
like
out all this.
fucking finally,
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
you know?
Yeah. It's been there the whole time. You just had to find it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love that. I'm very
Thank you. I appreciate you.
total pleasure. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, so we'll be in touch and you can keep on asking questions and doing all of that. Do you
Okay.
have any questions?
No, I don't. I really don't feel. I feel very complete. Thank
What are you
you.
going to do next? What are you going to do after this?
Um,
What time zone are you in?
it's 8:53 right now. So I'm in
Okay,
Eastern.
you're in my time zone. So what are you
Yeah.
going to do this evening?
Um,
You gonna
I'm
do
going to go to bed.
good, exactly. Well, I'm going to let everybody come back in and see if anybody wants to ask me anything. If you want to just go to bed now, I'm cool with that. You know,
I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna peace out. Thank you
my
so
pleasure.
much. Let the marinate.
Exactly. Keep me posted. You know where to
Yeah.
find me.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Maya.
Oh, it's my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
I can't
I
wait to see what happens. So,
Yeah, I appreciate you.
all right, there's everybody. I
All
appreciate
right.
you too. Thanks for joining.
Have a good night.
Sleep tight. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Very interesting session, wasn't that? Do you see how logical she is? Do you see how there was not so much of the ETM, not so much emotions, not so much, you know, of the stuff, some of the stuff that you're used to seeing? She was very analytical, very intelligent. And that's how, like, lawyers and doctors, I get a lot of that kind of thing, where they're really just having a conversation. She had a few closed eye moments. She had a few you know, extended trances. She had a few at the end there. But mostly the trance work was eyes open. But do you see how well it worked? And there were some moments where you're thinking, like, is she ever gonna do hypnosis? But the whole thing is hypnotic. That's why it's so easy. That's why it's so fun, because it doesn't matter if they're suggestible. I didn't have to test her. I mean, I didn't have to do a suggestibility test at the beginning. I didn't have to drag her. She did it all on her own. Do you see all the regression, all of the resolving the stuff with the mom? Isn't it weird that she resolved that whole thing with her mom, even though that was not the top? I mean, it was the topic eventually, but eventually she made peace with, oh yeah, and I will have to just take care of her. I mean, I was just trying to see, could I get that out of her as well? And there it was. It was like 2/3 of the way through. That's a really good example of an analytical client. Some people would call them skeptical because she's the kind of person who's like, well, it's never worked before. I've been trying to do this shit forever, you know? But then here she is telling you, like, oh, I don't feel that feeling anymore. Okay, so unmute yourselves. I know it's late and I know that took a while, but by the way, you can't rush people. Like if it takes 2 hours, that's how long it takes. I tend to not go over 2 hours just because my inner clock is pretty good at this point, but sometimes you do have to spend the whole 2 hours. Okay, so let's see. I know it's late. I will stay until everyone gets their questions answered. Oh yeah, you both said that there was a delay. I did notice it the second time, but I was like, I don't want to disturb her trance anymore. I don't want to disturb her. And if you're if you're auditory, you can just listen. Some people do these on the phone. I would much prefer if I could have seen her in real time because it's easier for me to read the subconscious moments, but I would rather not disturb the clients. Like I want them to be relaxed the whole time. If it takes a minute to get there, that's fine, but we don't want to like stretch that. So I just let it be. And that's sometimes how it is. Sometimes you just see the top of someone's head or whatever. It's like, just whatever. Make it work. Questions on the session, on me? Do you see too? Like I got kind of emotional there too, twice, I think. That's totally subconscious. Like I can't even predict it's coming. It's literally just my subconscious responding to her subconscious. So like I was maybe like processing her feelings for her in a way. That's fine with me. It just moves through me. I just see it coming and let it go. Questions? Do you,
I feel that
Petra, go ahead and then Cheryl.
okay. I feel it's because you share the same values of legacy with her, and so when you know the issue is about
Yes.
like yeah imparting to our children
Yes.
value, leaving a legacy. So
Yeah.
that is thing that you hold very dearly to you as well.
But actually, I thought that was so interesting. That was so much her resource. As soon as she said it, she sighed and was like, oh, that's the piece I've been looking for. Actually, I'm not a very legacy person. but I could tell that was her resource. And do you see how even without me suggesting it back to her, she came back to it many times? I mean, I did suggest it back to her, but by the end, she was super convinced by that. That was her convincer. And then you just repeat it to them. Oh, so the legacy. Oh, the legacy. Oh, your dad and the legacy. Oh, the kids and the legacy. And I just kept thickening it and thickening it. But I will say two things also in response to your comment. Number one, I can be super relatable to people. Like we both are women, we're both mothers, we're both business owners. There were lots of things I had in common with her, but I've had lots of other things like erectile dysfunction in a 70-year-old man. Okay, well, I have no relationship to that at all. In fact, I wonder why they pick me. But that's not important. Whatever they bring is whatever they bring. I don't judge anyone. I don't tell anyone they're right or wrong. I don't care what people are, if they're men, women, transgender, fucking green, black. I really don't care. Truly. Unless you're going to hurt somebody or hurt yourself, you can tell me anything and I will let that be the right thing because that's not my job. My job is just to make your life easier. So the relatability worked really well there. That's cool, but it's not required. But also it's a very interesting study in why you should be in business because the people who understand you and need you hire you. So like I was the perfect person for her. I really was. Like I really think I was an important part of her journey today. So that is the answer to why should I be in business when other people are better at this? Because you don't know who's out there who needs you. So it's like very good feedback. I'll go Cheryl and then Donna.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same thing. Like, I think I found it fascinating I found it fascinating how relatable you were to her from those aspects. So I felt, oh, that built on the trust.
Definitely.
And it was an added layer, like when you did get emotional with your kids and you can understand the legacy that you wanted to leave for them. Because like for me, it's like when you said, how are you going to be remembered? That was like the eureka moment for her.
Exactly.
And that is when everything sort of shifted.
That came from her though. She said that before I did.
Oh, okay. I didn't
And the
get.
reason I know that is because I actually am not a huge legacy person. Like I am
Okay.
very devoted to my children, but that's not something I would put in a place of importance. So it had to come from her. But once she said it, then I used it probably 2 or 3 dozen times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the key, Cheryl, is they come up with the resource and
Right.
they place importance on it. And all you do is keep on strengthening it. Keep on
Okay.
strengthening it. And that's what I'm going to talk about on Saturday in the class too, is how do you like really build that durability? Right? So I keep throwing it back to her, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. Then I start to troubleshoot it with her. Like, okay, but when you forget that, then what are you going to do? And then I'm building it again because it's reminding her, oh, even when you doubt it, will you be able to come back to that? And then she has to come up with, you know, a rationale for why she will. And she did.
Yeah. I mean, it was fascinating because I haven't seen a demo call before. So this is
Oh,
the
really?
first one that I've seen. And I mean, I've seen them during the trainings.
Yeah.
What I found it fascinating, first of all, just I think you're brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
And I just really was amazed by the patience that you had with just the questions that you asked. Like, I couldn't write down the things because every
No, you
place
can't.
is unique. And I mean, I can't ask those same questions.
That's why this is an
Because each
unscripted
person's
method, by the
different.
way. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, anyways, I was amazed. Yeah.
Also, though, Cheryl, what you're saying is an explanation of the price. Like I'm charging
Right.
people $2,500 for this transformation now. So how can I justify that price? Well, that's the answer is I'm creating a custom experience that will help only this one person in front of me.
Right.
They don't get it from me. I don't know who else creates that custom experience of their subconscious.
Yeah.
So I feel very comfortable that she's going to make $1 million or more now. The 2 grand makes no difference to her in her global life. And I created something that only I could give her. That's what justifies my expertise.
Right. Yeah, I have no doubt about that. I mean, I've seen, yeah, I agree. When you realize the value that you add to someone's life over the long term based on their
Right.
experience with you, I mean, it's like a no-brainer.
And addiction works that way because that's super expensive. Depression works that way because that's a time expense. CEOs, lawyers, doctors, they're all losing tons of money because of all these holding back things.
Right.
Like I had a guy today on a discovery call. He works at Morgan Stanley at some high ass, financial position, but he's still scared to talk to the people, to his workers. Like, how much will it help him to just get over that stage fright? It's worth $1 billion to him. Never mind the savings on your health, the savings on your immune system. I mean, you can't even measure it. Like 2 grand is a drop in the bucket for all this.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to, brag about the price. I'm just trying to give you guys confidence when you're worried that it's too high. It's like, well, ask around. Like, who else is giving that opportunity? Who else is giving a 2 hour succinct, oh yeah, now the problem is gone. Like, I don't know
Oh,
how
no,
else to
I
do it.
actually think it's compared to what I've seen in coaching industry,
Yeah, it's cheap,
it's
right?
like really cheap,
I agree.
actually.
I agree. But I mean, it is interesting that the main resistance people have is I can't go from $200 an hour to $1,500. But why can't you? I mean, I know that it's a rhetorical question right now.
Yeah.
I also think the price has a lot to do with the motivation. Like if you pay big money for something, you better as hell get something out of it. Like it puts your subconscious in a different position.
Yeah.
This is super important. Donna, what's your question?
I can't believe you're still saying it the other way. It's so cute.
Am I the wrong way? Fuck. My
Sorry,
first husband used to say a lot of good this PhD is doing you.
it's hysterical. Sorry that I'm on no video, but I was, because this is the first one I'm listening to besides our class, right? So I was surprised by how much, and I'm not saying it positive or negative. I'm just asking if it's what you always do. You sort of just touched upon it, but I was surprised on how much of yourself you introduce. Oh, I do that, or like it's common, but sometimes even just saying things about yourself. Like, is that because you originally said in
Right.
the first meeting, I don't do the, oh, I like your sweater. Like, we don't have to do that. We can just get to what's the problem, which
Exactly.
you do get to at the beginning. But then I saw that throughout it, you were sort
Yep.
of touching upon personal things or saying funny things about yourself. And I'm just wondering, is that deliberate, or it's just like with her? Or
Totally deliberate. Totally deliberate. I mean, the answer is number one, it's a great question, by the way. Number one, if I can't relate to someone, I don't fake it. I don't force it. There's no point in doing that. She happened to really, we have 2 kids. We both have the same kind of business. We're the same age. I mean, she handed it to me, right? She handed it to me. So to not use it would be to deny utilization. That's the premise of hypnosis, is to utilize what you're given. So whatever I'm given, I'm gonna fucking capitalize the shit out of it. If it's that we're very different some way, I will maybe use that. And just so you understand, like, this is why I like to do the live demo. It's a feeling, right? Like, I have amnesia already about what just happened. I remember I cried. I don't really remember why. But so I am also in a trance. So I'm just doing whatever is happening. If I get emotional, I'm just going to be emotional. Not unreasonably, obviously, it's not about me. If I'm curious, I'm going to just ask the question. If I can relate to something, it's just going to be what it is. So because you're voyeur, whatever you call yourself, because you,
Intuitive.
yeah, intuitive, you will have that same feeling of like, oh, and I feel now like this, and I feel now like this. And so I would just say radical realism. Like really, my approach is by any means necessary, I will get this person out of it. I don't fucking care how I do it. If we have to swear at each other. Once I had a screaming match with somebody who just wanted to shout at me. I mean, not in a mean way, obviously, but they were just very shouty. So then we shouted for a while. So I'm just matching. I'm just matching. That's hypnosis. It's just you give me something and I'll give it back to you. Because that makes the subconscious very calm. Just to know that there's a reciprocity. So,
Why do you,
so the
sorry.
answer is sometimes I will be super relatable and super open. Sometimes I'm kind of more removed and detached. Some customers, like the finance guy I saw today, would not take well if I started crying on the call, I'm guessing. So then it wouldn't fit there. That's a custom thing. It's custom. But I'm pretty, comfortable with my journey and what I've been through. So if it helps someone, I'm sure gonna share it for sure.
I have
But
another
but the
question, but I'll,
answer, yeah, you could ask it. But the answer really is no two things are alike. Like I think that's a standout session in all of my demos, which by the way, many of you have said you have never seen one. They're all inside of the training. So if
Yeah.
you're a student of mine, they're all available to you. But it's custom. That's why they're all recorded, because if you only watch one, you'll think hypnosis is one thing, but it's not. So I really think it has to be built on the spot. And I want to just reiterate, you might watch the training now and be like, but she didn't do any of those things. There was no ETM. I did no real future pacing. Like a lot of the stuff I teach you was absent from that session. Why? Because she didn't ask for it. She didn't say, oh, and I feel this in my body. She didn't cry. She didn't give me a lot of the things that a lot of people give me. So that's fine. I'm just not going to use all those approaches. I'm just going to keep on going with the Q&A. That's the interview stage, right? I'm going to let Dana have the
well, I can let other
follow-up.
people and then come back. It's not a follow-up, so let
Oh,
other
okay.
people and then
So
I want to.
I'll go Patrick and then back to Donna. Does anyone else have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
Okay, then I'll do, so it'll be Patrick, Donna, Priya. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to what you just said, Maya, about, oh, there was no ETM, there was none of these things.
Yeah.
But what I recognized was you did things that were actually elements of other modalities, which you probably had no idea of. Like I see elements
No,
of
I do.
NLP. And yeah, there are elements of there are some questions
Yeah.
that are coaching questions in NLP.
That's right. Exactly. That's right. Yep. And there's regression. We did traditional regression. We did, what else did we do? We did some timeline. We did some parts therapy without calling it that. That's right. But it's all folded into the conversation. See, as soon as you take it out of the conversation and say, now I'm going to use my timeline therapy, then the person is like, go fuck yourself. I don't want to. And they might not even be conscious of the fact that they're telling you to go fuck yourself, but they will be a little recalcitrant, right? So I'm not telling people to not know other things. I'm telling you to not announce them and not sell them. They're all folded into one beautiful, continuous thing, which is the conversation. But you're right. I think it's very, I'm taking a course next week with Esther Perel because I want to learn her, relationship style. I love to learn. I love to know. I just did a course on clean language. There's nothing wrong with knowing what's out there, but I just don't want to ever pull it out just because I think this will work. I want the client to indicate where they're going, and then maybe I use it. It wouldn't have been good if I had been like, okay, let's now name the part. Okay, now put your hands up and that will be the part for this one. She would have been like, this is ridiculous, right? If I had done the real parts therapy. But instead we did more like, oh, so the mother in you wants this. Oh, the CEO wants this. The daughter wants this. The mad, resentful part of you wants this. So now what?
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
gonna do a class on this because I do think there's a method to this integration. Go ahead.
if you go to like if you go and learn NLP, there are a lot of scripts for different things.
Yeah.
And this is literally like I'm not sure whether you guys are familiar with martial arts.
Yeah.
But in martial arts, you have to learn every belt has a kata,
That's
has
right.
a sequence of
Yep.
maneuvers, which you have to do it as an exam to go upgrade, to promote to the next level, the next belt. So white, yellow, green, brown, black.
Yep.
Yep. but you can't use that in a practical fight. Yeah,
That's
but it is by doing that is you are going from unconscious incompetence to to conscious incompetence to
I agree.
conscious, right?
Yep.
Conscious competence to unconscious competence, right?
Right.
And so at unconscious competence level, if I'm a kung fu master and I'm in a street
Exactly.
fight, I don't think of which
Beautiful.
card
I
to
love
use.
what you just said. That's exactly how I see this. I love that you just said that. That's exactly how I see my job.
Yeah. So the body move out
That's
of
right.
my reflexes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But
That's right.
as a conversational hypnotist, it is
Yeah.
not our body, it's our
That's right.
mind that's moving, you
Mhm.
know.
It's even more than
Like,
your mind. It's your
yeah,
vibe, it's your
yeah,
energy, whatever. But you're absolutely right that you want to train and train and train and practice and practice and practice and practice alone and practice in your own head and keep going, keep going, keep going, so that when you come to the session, you have a black belt approach to it. That's exactly right. I tell people I'm a fixer. Like that's about as black belt as you can get because I'll pull out whatever I need to. I have no holds barred here at all. There's no limit. And that's why people ask me sometimes, why do you have a clinic in a hospital or whatever? I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm unregulated. I have to be. That's my job. I have to have all the possibilities. But you're absolutely right. You have to practice. Everybody wants to know, like, how do you get good at it? Just do a lot of cases, do a lot of these conversations, and one day you're like, oh, so natural. I can just do a street fight, no problem. Like I told you, I did one on the airplane the other day. It was basically a street fight. A guy sits next to me with a major life problem, and I somehow can solve it when he's sitting next to me on a super loud airplane. And he's like, how did you do that? Well, that's because I'm a black belt. But I got there by doing like hundreds of sessions. And I'm getting better and better too. Like I really think I'm getting better and also faster. And faster is good for money.
Mm.
Like I'm still a businesswoman. I like to work on my skill set because the faster I can do that, like she's basically a one session client, you know? That's good money. And I'm not saying she wouldn't come back for a follow-up. She might. That doesn't bother me either. But the faster you get, the more money you make, the more people you can help, the more products you can create. It does come down in the end to disattaching money from time, which is a really big problem with therapists, is that they think the more time they sit there, the more person is getting help. But that's not necessarily true at all. Actually, the more time you sit there with a problem, the more the problem becomes cemented. So to me, briefer is better, not to the point of rushing. Not to the point of rushing.
yeah.
But I love what you said. I'm going to use that as a clip somewhere. Thank you. You nailed it. What is it that Bruce Lee said? A punch is a punch and a kick is a kick. And then eventually you know which punch and which kick. That's the key, is to practice the punches and the kicks so that when you get the opportunity to use them, you know which one. That's the level of the expert. Exactly. I think I said Dana next. Is that right? Thank you. Thanks, Patrick. I always love your insight. You're so smart. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, like, kind of early on, I was thinking, oh, this, like, I don't know at what point, like, you asked a few more things than I thought. So that gives me sort of leeway to think maybe I can. And I remember early on, I was thinking, when she was saying about camp, and like I wanted to go to the place of kind of feeling
Yeah.
like it had to do with her mom and expectations of what
Yep.
they expected her to be, and she didn't feel, and like thinking of maybe
Yeah.
her brothers and competition, and like I wanted to ask those questions. But do you think, and also intuitively I knew it had to do with her mother.
Yes.
I wasn't like, I'm just wondering, like, if I feel into, like, with clients now, I just know it and I say it. But I do think that in these instances, like, I shouldn't, or
That's a so interesting question. I have like 5,000 thoughts about it because it's so deep and it has so much, there's so much in it. But The number one rule of hypnosis is utilization. I mean, there's a lot of number one rules, but I'll say that one for now, which means everything is client driven. So I really try my very best to not predict what they think is helpful. So like I feel the same way. When she started in on the camp thing, I was like, whoa, right off the bat, we're 30 seconds in and she's already in a regression. Like
Right.
that's pretty instant trance. I mean, if I were to teach, which I am doing right now, but if to teach what happened there is the trance was instant, was an instantaneous induction. I said, what's the problem? And she was in a trance because she regressed immediately. That's what trance is. And so all I'm doing there is following her trance. If she wants to take it into, and my brother's tortured me and this and that, I would follow that. But it's not exactly my place to introduce it. I want to say that as point A, but point B is, as I said before, all roads lead to Rome. And so when you're inside of the feeling and you feel drawn, you have no option but to say what is on your mind. So like
Right.
you might have had a whole different session there where you've gone through that detour or whatever. It would have still taken you to the same place.
I wonder that, but remember when I did the demo with you and I said something that led her right into it.
Exactly.
And so that I feel like maybe that's something that I can do, but I don't
Exactly.
know, like, I don't want to.
Practice. That's all you can do is practice and see how it works. Just follow the experience because it will inform you. Maybe your way of doing trance is more like that. That would be fine.
Yeah.
There's no correct way as long as it gets to the end, right? Like all of us would have done a different session, and that doesn't matter. But I would say trust yourself initially and observe yourself. Observe how you are leaning in. If you lean in with your ego, like, well, let me tell you what the problem is, then resist that. Just observe it.
But do you think it's okay to lean in with,
No wrong questions,
well,
exactly.
no, I was going to say, do you think it's okay to lean in with, like, because I I don't know if you do this or not. I can't tell, but like sometimes I feel like maybe I would lean in with a little flashlight. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's the path. I don't know. I'm flashing the light, you know?
And then see if they respond, see if you lean in with a little flashlight and they're like, no, that has nothing to do with it, then take it away.
Yeah.
But like, let's say you ask something that doesn't take you where you thought. So what? Do something.
Right.
Just keep going. Once in a while, I lose track of what we're talking about. I got a little confused there about the guilt for a minute. I remember her being like, no, that wasn't it. But I had just lost my train of thought. But so
Yeah.
what's the difference? I don't want to interrupt myself and be like, oh, wait a minute, let me fix that. I just say something, wait for her to respond and pick it up where she responds. By the way, that's the reason I love this method too, because it's very chill for me. I don't have to be like, a ninja exactly literal and super, super linear, right? It doesn't matter. As long as the trance is evolving, what's the difference? So my main objective is to not interrupt the trance. I just never want to fuck with it. It's so delicate. You just can't mess with it. No psychotic insight, remember? So anything that would provoke that psychotic insight, that's what I'm going to resist. So like if I get too like, well, maybe it's this, that provokes her psychotic insight, which makes her resist me. Well, now I just created a long detour.
Right.
And guess what the problem with that is? Number one, client is not as impressed with you, doesn't get as good a feeling of it. And number two, way more sessions. So the more my ego interrupts me, the more I have to work. Well, that doesn't make sense. It's like a really interesting experience of Zen, which for people like you and I, who are big talkers and highly educated and super, charismatic, it is an interesting training to be like, how do I restrain that more and more? Which I'm not that good at yet. Let's be honest. I have a ways to go. I've seen people do like silent sessions. I'm not really that kind of hypnotist. I'm kind of a talker.
Yeah, I relate more to you.
I know. That's why I'm out here training, because I think there's not that many trainers who are bubbly, young ladies like myself. So I think it's important that there be variety.
Yeah. Thank you, Maya.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, bottom line I want to say to you is you already have the skill because you've been using it in your business. So now it's just a matter of like tweaking it so that it works for this model. And the only way to figure that out is going to be to try a bunch of people.
Right.
Because what you're going to notice is like, oh, that took her to a whole different place that didn't help. And then you'll think to yourself, well, that won't work next time. Forget that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick just said, I'm the silent type. It's true. You're way more quiet. But you will notice too, like when the trance is really intense, I am quiet. And then what do I give? Does everybody remember what it's called? Process instruction. All I'm doing when she's in that closed eyes, let me think about it, all I say is stuff like, good job. And I noticed too, she was a sigher. Did you know that? She was very into humming and sighing. She did a lot of like, And then I would just echo that back. Could you guys hear it? She would say, and then I would say,
I
That's
didn't notice that. That's
That's
good.
part of the hypnosis. It's all just giving her back what she gave me because it's just telling the subconscious, that's it, right there, 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 stay there. That's what I'm cueing the subconscious to do. That's right. Okay, good job. No rush. Keep going. That's what I fill that silence with, is just encouragement, basically, which is called process instruction in hypnosis. I'm just growing her own self-brought on trance. So it is important to be quiet. If you interrupt people when they're in that place, it does fuck the trance up. The trance up. I'm gonna look back on these videos one day and be like, oh, I could have said that differently. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let people be in the trance. That's the beauty of hypnosis. It does its own work. Priya, what's your question?
Let's see if this comes out the right way. First of all, really nice job. Like I've never seen this before, so it was
Isn't it weird?
it was lovely. And yeah, different, of course, different
Yeah.
you know,
Did you notice too how casual it is?
yeah, casual, conversational, just all the words you're using.
Yep.
But what I wondered was so she was, in addition to you being resourceful, she was resourceful,
Yeah. Totally.
and she had done a lot of, she had come up with some reasons. She came with stuff. So I guess I'm struggling to formulate my question. I'm working with a person
Okay.
right now
Yeah.
who is very unformulated.
Yeah.
Right? So she knows that her mother describes her as, I don't want to turn this into a big question session. I'm just wondering out loud.
Okay, go ahead.
So her mother says failure to launch.
Yep.
That's what she says. And this is a very bright girl. She's 20 years old. She's very timid.
Yep.
And she genuinely has no idea. And again, it's very much at a conscious level. This is no trance induction or anything like that. She has no idea. She was actually said the other day, I have no idea who I am. If you ask me what's my favorite food or what's my favorite color, I wouldn't be able to tell you. And so I was just wondering where Cindy was very resourceful and was able to connect the dots and do the ums and ahs and follow your probe. I don't want to say probing, questioning, supporting, all the above.
Yep. You're right.
Come across people who can't produce
Totally.
anything,
Yep.
And then, so with Cindy, who was resourceful, it took 2 hours. And yes, totally custom made and all that. But what would I do with somebody who the 2 hours was mostly silence?
Yeah, that's totally fine. It's a great question. So first of all, take the course because I answer in many different ways that I don't have time for right now. So there's that. But the answer really is everybody is different, and some people's expression of their subconscious is, I don't know. I've heard people answer literally 40 or 20 questions in a row with,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And so my response to that could be like, oh, there's nothing to work with here. But the reality is that the principles of conversational hypnosis are such that we can work with anything. It doesn't matter. Why is that? Because the subconscious is like the horsepower of 300 million hours of continuous television. Our conscious mind is like 10 ideas at a time. It's not doing a million pieces of processing at a time. So I have radical faith, and I mean, really, I am radical in this way, in the subconscious. And I know that with enough presence and enough patience and with enough questioning, some piece of something will emerge. It
So
will.
will that be a few sessions then? Has that happened? I'm sure it has.
Yeah, I mean, some people take more than one for sure. I think one is like a nice idea. It's a nice thing to offer people.
Doesn't always, yeah.
But you can't, first of all, you can't do that without practice. Second of all, lots of people just don't fit into that category. And third of all, the whole point of this method is to be no pressure on anyone, including the therapist and including the client. So I
Would the
can't.
client feel, I mean, I've never been the client, so I'm just trying to picture. Would the
That's
client
another reason
feel-
to take the training, because it's fun. Then you can volunteer and be the
Okay,
client.
I will. It will be fun. Would the client feel, oh my God, I just wasted I said like 40 I don't knows in a row. You know what I mean? Like, how does the client feel at the end of that, you know?
That's my job. My whole job is to keep it away from their resistance.
Right.
Anytime that they're moving in the direction of I'm failing, then that's a
You
problem.
move it away. Okay.
So
How would you like, how would you move it away? I mean, let's say I've said, I don't know. And I'm genuinely trying. Let's say I'm the client. I'm genuinely trying. And I say, I don't know.
I mean, I think you're just not trained in this, so you don't know like how to do it. But the basic 101 answer is follow your curiosity. It's just follow your curiosity. So like if somebody says to you, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, you say something like, so how do you function? Like how do you, I don't know, I might ask her that. Like, so how do you decide what to eat when you go to a restaurant? And she would be like, oh, I don't know, I just pick something. Okay, well, how does that make you feel? And it's gonna lead me somewhere else. So I don't know. Okay, so did you like what you ordered the last time? Like there's always a way in. There's just always a way in. And by the way, for those of you who haven't taken my 102, if you don't know how to get in from level 1, that's what level 2 is about. Is like, I don't care what topic it is, I will find a way. And level 2 teaches you that. So I think you just don't know the skill totally yet, which is cool,
right.
that's why you're here. But follow your curiosity. You just ask a question. I mean, like if somebody says to you, I don't know what to eat and I don't know what my favorite color is, doesn't that provoke some curiosity in you? I'd be like, so how do you get dressed? Like, what do you do? How does that work for you? Do you like it? What do you think should be, would
I
be
think
better?
the training is the critical part because I did ask her, how do you get dressed? She said, my mother puts my clothes out.
And then I would say to her, well, how do you feel about that? Do you want your mom to keep doing that? I mean, you're 20 years old. How do you feel about that? And also part of the problem here is I don't know. I don't know her history. I don't know her intake. I don't know why she's there. I don't know her purpose. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns there. I will say too, like teenagers and young people, I love working with them because they're a whole different kettle of fish, like they're not fully formed. Like, as you said, Cindy is fully formed, like she's a realized woman already.
Yeah.
But it's different when I've had 17-year-olds. I've had 7-year-old, I've had children too. So you learn to follow their language, like they speak their own language. That's the whole fun of becoming a hypnotist. Like for me, is that I have learned to speak the language of any person in front of me. That's really the fun of it. So I don't know this lady's language, but I know she has one because she's alive.
Yeah.
And the question that you asked, Cheryl, in the chat, would you ask, what if you did know? I would not ask that. And why? I want you to tell me, why would I not ask that? It really drives me nuts when people do that. Okay, but what if you thought, what if you did know?
No, what questions you said?
Pardon?
You said not too many what questions. You said that was a no.
But actually, why is the one that I would like to
Oh,
resist.
sorry.
But you're right, it's the same answer. Why? I know it's so annoying when I say this. Why resist why questions? Why resist what if you did not? What if you did know? Cheryl, do you want to say?
I don't know the answer, otherwise I
Okay.
wouldn't have written that.
That's okay. That's a great question,
It
though.
puts her in the head. It takes her out of conscious.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's
okay.
conscious. It's really a conscious question more than a subconscious question.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that makes a person feel like, oh, there's something missing, or oh, I missed that, or I should know, that's going to make you feel
Oh,
more
okay,
interested.
got it.
I would rather go with confusion than self-doubt. I would rather ask somebody like, well, what's not fun about that? What's not fun about not knowing? And they're going to be like, that's a weird question. Like already that creates hypnosis, right? Because you're like, what's not fun about it? I don't know. It's just not fun. I don't know. And then they're going to say something, which I don't know what it is, but it's going to lead me somewhere. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, like that's the very important thing, is for everything to seem casual. Everything just seems like something that's happening. I mean, that's the whole weird thing about this method. It's like, that's it's pretty professional what I just did. Like I know a lot of things to pull it off, but really what I'm doing in the moment is just
Following her.
following her in the moment. So like my information is behind me. It's not up front. And the problem with regular therapy and the methods that we've learned, the usual methods, is that they put you in front. Oh, let me help you. Let me suggest something. Let me find out. Let me regress you. Let me talk you down a staircase. Well, as soon as you put yourself in front, the client is behind. Well, guess what happens to the subconscious? It says, go fuck yourself. I'll figure this out on my own. I don't need you. Well, then you've already canceled the possibility of helping that person. And by the way, like that's why I treat it so with kid gloves, because once you lose that with the client, it's basically impossible to re-earn it. You only get one shot, I think. Isn't that true? So that psychotic insight is the most important. I said a lot of things are the most important. Utilization is the most important. Curiosity is the most important. Not triggering psychotic insight. But I mean, that's the fun of the method, All of these principles are principles, but they don't tell you what to do. You do that on your own. And that's what's freeing about it. There is no method. There's no script. There's no right way. It's pretty much following a feeling. And that's what's fun
Thank
about it.
you. Thanks so much. It was awesome.
Yeah. I'll stay for another minute. Anyone who needs to go, I know we've been here forever already. I don't know how to shorten this.
But thank you again.
Of course, yeah. Check in with me later, Priya. I can help
I will.
figure
Thank
out
you.
whatever you need.
Bye.
My pleasure. Anyone else have any questions? Nice to meet you. I guess we're done. I didn't think it was going to go this late. So Saturday, I'm doing a masterclass on making the transformations permanent, building resiliency, basically. It's at 12 my time, so you're all warmly welcome to that. And next level one is mid-July, 16, 17, and 18, I think, or 17, 18, and 19. I also have level 2 in mid-May, which I will send you guys an email before the end of the week, which is tomorrow, I guess. So I'll send you an email tomorrow. But if you have questions, just post in the group, I'll answer whatever you need to know. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much, Maya.
My pleasure. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.